Good morning again, everyone. Good to be here. It's lots of rain around Cheshire today, but great for the gardens. And, tomatoes are growing and turning red, and the zucchini and cucumbers are all growing. I mean, who can complain about the rain? That's what we need. It also means I don't have to go water the garden. God is handling that part for me right now. Anyway, take a look at this lovely piece of artwork behind me here. I mean, this is three-dimension, right? This is traditional Inuit clothing, and it was done by, I think, one of the elders in the community, and possibly with some of the clients as well when they were on Nuchimi, okay? So like it's a three-dimensional hat, and the dress, the mitts, these are, I think they're oven mitts, and here's a, dress. I guess that would be like pajama type stuff, and the wool socks and everything. So I just want you to have a look at that. It's really, really nice. So that's why I'm sitting this way today, so you can have an eye out for that. Okay. I don't know what the microphone is like on the phone now when I go out that far, if you're actually hearing me. But anyway, I'm Bob, and I'm the teacher and virtues facilitator at the Charles J. Andrew Youth and Family Treatment Center here in Cheshire, Labrador. And remember, this is a treatment center. It's a family treatment center. It's an Aboriginal family treatment center. And if you want to know more about our program, and if you want to actually apply here, you can contact Dylan at 709-497-8995, extension 227. And he will certainly fill you in on all the details and make sure you get an intake package as well, and all the steps that are necessary for you to get here. So don't forget that. In the meantime, now check out our website. Our website is www.cjay.org, cj.org. And, of course, the Facebook page, the one we're on here now, is Charles J. Andrew Youth and Family Treatment Center. So I'm glad to see you on here. And if you're not a member of the group, then ask to join, and you get to see anything then that goes up on the site. So we're working through the Family Virtues Guide, backwards, but Family Virtues Guide, which is available, of course, on Amazon if you want to buy it. And I'm not getting anything from the sale of the book, believe me. I just want people to have the book, all right? So when clients leave here, when clients come, the families come, when they leave here, they take one of these books with them. We give them one of these that they can use for reference, while they continue their healing journey. And we also give them a deck of virtues cards, 52 virtues cards, which are also absolutely amazing. And they're all available, of course, online if you wanted to buy them. So the last strategy is strategy 5, and we're finishing this one up today, and it's parent as counselor. We looked at offering the art of spiritual companioning. We looked at feelings that people have, and helping children make moral choices, and opening the door with children or adults, to allow them to, empty their cup. So in order to empty their cup, you ask cup emptying questions. And look for sensory cues as well. How they're feeling, what they're looking like, what their actions are. They're crying or they're angry, or these kinds of things you look at. And some of the questions you may ask may actually may stem from that, from what you're seeing in the person that you're speaking with. The section we're working on now, we're looking at asking virtues reflection questions, asking closure and integrated questions, and offering virtues acknowledgements. And that will finish up this chapter and the strategies of the virtues project, okay? So, when a person's cup seems empty, to be empty, give a few more moments of silence. There's a coffee slogan that goes like this: good till the last drop. Sometimes the last drop contains the pearl of truth. Okay, so that's why you need to wait. In other words, Don't speak just to kill the silence. Don't do that, okay? Don't feel you have to say something when there's silence. That's when a lot of thinking is taking place. That's when that pearl of truth may actually be revealed, which is what you're looking for, right? Don't try and fill the silence. Allow the silence to happen, okay? When a person gets to the bottom of her cup, the truth is always found there. You have given her the opportunity to hear herself think and feel. You've given her that opportunity by being quiet, by being silent, right? At this point, you as the listener begin to take more of the lead, but not with your agenda for how the story ends. Only a desire to support the speaker to reflect on the virtues which can support her to act responsibly. You may not always go on to this aspect of companioning, but if you can detect a virtue that is involved, it is helpful to do so. Your goal here is to ask questions which help the other to choose how she's going to act in light of her feelings. These questions will help the person to make moral choices based on her virtues. Now, here's some examples, okay? To a child going on stage, you may say, "It seems quite scary to go on stage. What will give you the courage to do it?" You see how that opens it up and allows the child or the adult, whoever, to bring things forward? To a child having a problem in his relationship with his teacher, okay, here's what you could say, something along these lines. How do you think that you can get some justice and respect from your teacher? Think about that. Only after a child has had a chance to reflect on the virtues involved, you may also want to ask something along these lines. And it's important. What support do you need to find a peaceful solution with your teacher? Or you could say, how can I support you? Not, how can I fix this for you? How can I support you? Because the child needs to practice making decisions on their own. In a moral dilemma, such as a loyalty issue for a teenager who has witnessed a friend shoplifting, the last thing she needs is for you to take the issue away. You'll never see that friend again, I can tell you that. Well, don't tell. Ask. After the child has emptied her cup completely, including her confusion about what to do, don't jump into the breach and give her your moral solution. Ask her a virtues reflection question to help her discover her own. Something like this. How can you be loyal to your friend and honest at the same time? What feels right to you? Kids come up with amazing, honorable solutions when you give a virtues-based frame of meaning within which to choose. Now, I had someone come to me and say, so-and-so is stealing. And and the one thing they said was, don't say anything, because if you do, they're going to know it was me that told, and they're going to get in trouble. So it's quite a dilemma. It's not as easy as it looks. There's more to it than meets the eye, right? So that's why it's important to give the child an opportunity to come up with their solution, right? Now, ask closure and integrated questions. Use what and how. Never use why. Why is interrogation. There are questions which allow for closure and internalizing of a teachable moment, and the integration, the weaving together of thinking and feeling head, and heart. So here are some suggestions. So you've been through the companioning, and now you want to kind of close off. You might say things like, what is clearer to you now after the revealing? What is clearer after talking about this? What has been helpful about talking? What have you appreciated most about talking? So these are some examples of the kinds of questions. Notice it's what, right? Not why. These closure and integration questions would come after a relatively lengthy time of listening. When some real cup emptying has occurred, not necessarily after you have just admired a bump on a child's knee. There's going to be more to it than that, right? You know why God gave us 2 ears and only one mouth? So we can listen a lot more than we speak, you know. They say when you speak, you're revealing something. When you listen, you might learn something. So they are very important to help a person reach closure and pull it all together when a moral issue or strong emotion is involved. It is essential that the listener not have an agenda for what the right answer is. So as soon as the child opens their mouth, well, I know the answer to that. No, we can't have that agenda. Children are particularly sensitive to manipulation by adults. The parent who has a preset answer or who comes up with a brilliant idea during the companioning must be detached to hold it back. Say nothing. Remember the silence. To serve as a spiritual companion takes a great deal of trust in the child's process. Once a parent has experienced the exhilaration of watching a child come to his own creative solutions, it is far more comfortable to try again. So when an issue comes up again, the child is more likely to come to you and sit down and have you listen to what the issues are. Now, start this when they're really young. And then you continue it all the way up through so that when they turn 42 years old, they will still call you if they have an issue and discuss it with you, okay? And then you can do your companioning. Even when they get older, your children get older. And now I have to do that with my grandchildren, I guess. You know. Now, always offer virtuous acknowledgements. An acknowledgement, of course, is when you see the child, you know, expressing a virtue, like if they're showing courage, then you acknowledge them for their courage. Finally, end with a virtuous acknowledgement. It is essential to do this step in order to restore the dignity and self-esteem of someone who has opened up her heart and soul to you. That's the reason for the virtuous acknowledgement, okay? Because when they start to pour out what's in them, you're not sure what's coming out. So you listen. And the virtuous acknowledgement can help restore their dignity and their self-esteem after that, revelation. I see your courage. Your friend is lucky to have you. You're being really faithful to her. See the two virtues there. I honor you for your sense of justice and your trust to tell me what is happening with your teacher and for your courage to work it out with her. See all the virtues being acknowledged here? The honor, the sense of justice, the trust, the courage. Like, let them know, because that's speaking the language of the virtues, and you're really telling them who they are. You know, you are a courageous person, right? You do have trust. You are just. Be careful not to label with the virtues. It is not appropriate to say, you are so honest. You're not being specific. You have so much courage. Or, you're the most honest person. You're the most honest person I know. The acknowledgement will be immediately rejected because the person may not always be so honest. If you're going to say they're honest, tell them why. So if the child reveals to you about what's happening with their teacher and them, they're being honest. They're opening up and telling you the truth. So you can acknowledge them for that honesty. If they come to you and say, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm the one that stole all the cookies. That's honesty. Acknowledge them for the honesty then, because it's specific. Saying things like, oh, you're a good boy. Good boy? Wait a minute. Why am I a good boy? I wasn't very nice this morning to my sister. Gee, I remember I was saucy to my teacher yesterday. Gee, I'm not all that of a good boy. So if you're going to call him a good boy, say why. Okay? If it's a good boy for making up his bed, then call him a good boy for making up his bed. Be specific. The most powerful virtues acknowledgements are very specific and relevant to the issue at hand. When they ring true, they touch the soul. If you tell someone or give them a virtue for what's exactly happening, it can touch the soul. In the role of counselor, you have moved a step beyond serving as a teacher at teachable moments. Remember, we're all counselors. Parents, you're counselors. Parents, you're teachers. As a matter of fact, the Virtues Project says, even in this guide, it says, the mother is the first and most important educator of the child. So you are teachers as well, whether you like it or not. You know, yeah, I teach math and language and that kind of stuff, right? And I try to teach, virtues as well, of course, with children. But you're teaching them stuff all the time, right? You are the mentor and supporter, empowering the child to be his own teacher. As you practice spiritual companioning, you will see what an art and skill it is. The biggest challenge is getting out of the way. In other words, listen. Get out of the way. Stop trying to fix and rescue and preach. You will also see that it is a tool needed in every relationship, whether marriage, management, friendship, or parenting. Companioning is necessary. Beginning when children are small gives them a wonderful head start in their spiritual growth and self-esteem. That concludes our 5 strategies of the Virtues program. Now, of course, each of those strategies can be expanded upon. And as I said before, like if you were here in the boardroom with me and we were going over this, we would have much more to talk about. We would have discussion. We would have issues come up. We'd have more examples. So it would certainly, I think. Anyway. Okay, so I just received a phone call there, and I just had to cancel it because I'm live here. I'm not finished yet. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at, of course, is the virtue, and I think this virtue really comes into play right now. And it's the virtue of assertiveness. Assertiveness. Here's the quote. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 small coins? Yet not one of them has escaped the notice of God. Even the hairs of your head have all been counted. Do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Every individual is special, different, worthy, and deserving of respect. Being assertive means, so what is it? Being assertive means to be positive and confident. It is knowing that you deserve respect. Assertiveness begins by being aware that you are worthy, that you are a worthy person created by God. You have your very own special gifts. Only you have your unique combination of qualities. When you are assertive, you tell the truth about what is just. You don't follow others. You think for yourself. If someone is trying to hurt you, lead you into trouble, or influence you to do something you feel is wrong, you protect yourself. You show the strength not to let others hurt you or influence you in negative ways. Assertiveness is asking for what you want and need. Assertiveness is expressing your own ideas, opinions, and talents. When you do this, you serve the world in your own special way. You are using the gifts God gave you. Don't allow the negative talk of others to get inside you. Like the rough water surrounding a boat, it doesn't hurt or sink the boat unless it gets inside the boat. Control what you allow inside of you. Be assertive. So why should you practice it? Well, that's why, isn't it? Without assertiveness, we would be passive. We would let others boss us around. Without assertiveness, we would just react to things that other people expect of us. Others would tell us what to do and what to think. We wouldn't stop to figure out what we want, need, or think. If you were too passive, you would allow others to hurt you or get you into trouble. You would not be able to set limits that keep you safe. The trouble with being too passive is that your special way of being and thinking would remain unexpressed, and the world would be a poorer place. Without assertiveness, you might be too aggressive. You would try to control others, push them around, or hurt them. You would feel bad about yourself. You would be a bully. When you are assertive, others respect you. You are offering your true ideas and feelings as well as protecting yourself from things that can cause you harm. When you are assertive, you choose what you will do for reasons of your own. God made you the way you are to play your special part in the world. Just as each instrument in an orchestra is needed to make beautiful music, your part is needed in the song of life. You're here for a reason. Everyone is. So how do you practice assertiveness? To be assertive, you need to remember how worthy you are, and that's very important. Remember how worthy you are. Every single one of us. We are worthy. God put us here for a reason. You stand up for what you know is right. You don't allow others to treat you unjustly. You set limits with others by letting them know what you will and will not do. You listen to yourself and decide for yourself. When you have ideas, you speak out, even if you feel shy. You are your own leader. Being assertive does not mean you control things or always get your own way. It means that when someone asks what you think or how you feel, you don't just tell them what they want to hear. You honestly and tactfully tell them what's true for you. Now, tactfully, of course, means tell them kindly or tell them with kindness. When someone suggests something that makes you feel uneasy, might hurt you or get you into trouble, you stop and think. You tell them you won't do it. You don't let other people bully or hurt you. You get help when you need it. You also avoid being aggressive. You don't need to hurt or boss others to feel important. You remember the one-of-a-kind, unique combination that you are. The Creator wants you here as a blessing to the world. And I think all children need to know that and believe that. And so do adults, okay? You have to remember the one-of-a-kind, unique combination that you are. The Creator wants you here as a blessing to the world. Congratulations! You are practicing assertiveness when you recognize you are worthy of respect. Every single one of you. When you think for yourself, when you tell the truth about what is just, when you ask for what you want and need, when you set boundaries about what is right for you, when you freely express your thoughts and feelings. Affirmation. I am assertive. I think for myself and do what I feel is right. I tell the truth about what is just. I know I have the right to be treated with respect. Now, I just want to mention, when I said that we're all worthy people and that we've all been created as a blessing for the world, I'm thinking about as well people that are suffering from addictions, whether it's alcohol or drugs or gambling or food or whatever the addiction might be. You are also a valuable person. The light inside of you is still there. The addictions may sometimes blot it out, but it's still there, and you need to know that. The virtues are inside of all of us already. And I know with children in particular, as parents and grandparents and educators, as just general adults, we need to be nurturing the virtues that are in our children and make them shine, okay? Make them shine. So that's our virtue, and I have a little quote or two here. Try this one. A mind map. A mind map. Make a mind map showing the personal boundaries you need in order to stay safe, to stay healthy, to get what you need. A mind map that shows the personal boundaries you need in order to stay safe, stay healthy, and to get what you need. Now, here's an example. I walk away from trouble. I get help if I am threatened. I speak up about what I need. So that's kind of a mind map. This is what I will do as being assertive. I will make sure I do these things. You may have things to add to that. Now, what happens to people that are too passive? Passive, when you sit down and allow people to push you around, allow people to, do whatever. So, what happens to people that are too passive? What happens to people that are too aggressive? Think about that one. And what is the difference between aggression and assertiveness? Being assertive, people like others being assertive. They like to be assertive. They want to be assertive. And it's probably one of the virtues that most people would pick out as something that they would want to practice. They'd want to get better at. Aggression, of course, can lead to fights and rows or whatever you want to call them, right? Not very nice. This is by Brenda Ullin, this quote, "Since you are like no other being ever created since the beginning of time, you are incomparable." Or another way to say it, incomparable, I guess. Sammy Davis Jr. says, "Yes, I can." That's it. That's all he said. And the last one here, Eleanor Roosevelt. She was a first lady, the wife of President Roosevelt. "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Nobody can make you feel inferior unless you let them. And if you're passive, that's exactly what can happen. They can make you feel inferior. And that's why assertiveness is important, because you stand up for yourself. Okay? So that's it for today. And I will be with you again on Monday. And I think it'll probably be at 10 o'clock on Monday. If that changes, I'll certainly let you know. And we'll move on with the next chapter of the Virtues Project, which is setting up the virtues in your home and how you would go about doing that. So that's the one we're going to be doing next. Okay, so I hope you're going to be with me again on Monday. So until then, have a good weekend. Stay safe. Stay away from the coronavirus. And until then, take care. Bye for now.